So, Warfare is a new war film co-directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza, as the film is a reenactment of what Ray Mendoza and his platoon went through because Ray Mendoza is a veteran, but the film is a reenactment of what Ray Mendoza and his platoon went through during an encounter in 2006. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say, welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button to not miss a feature video, whether it's a feature review, a reaction, a top 5, a top 10, or whatever I've coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not going to want to miss the cool stuff I have coming your way. And for those of you who are coming back to my channel, by the way, welcome back, everybody. You have no idea how happy I am to see your faces once again. And let's also start our conversation below. What did you guys think of Warfare? Have you guys seen the film? Did you guys not like the film? Let me know below. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into Warfare.
Excellent!
Warfare is a movie that before I saw this movie the other day, there was one particular thing, well, if I'm being honest, there were a couple of things that caught my eye. One of those being that Alex Garland had co-directed the movie, which, for those of you who know me very well, Alex Garland, I think, is a hell of a filmmaker, and even though Civil War was technically his last movie as a film director, he co-directed this with Ray Mendoza, who Ray Mendoza, like I mentioned to you guys in my intro, he is a veteran, so I'm curious as to how the directing work was done in this movie, like if Ray Mendoza was directing the actors and Alex Garland was doing all the technical aspects. But the thing that got my attention the most was knowing that this movie isn't really a story-based movie. I mean, sure, the film is a story in a certain way, but the movie, more than anything else, is you watching a reenactment of an encounter that Ray Mendoza and his platoon had experienced in 2006. That got me very curious to see how this thing would be presented in a movie theater. To call this movie a movie, because here's the thing, guys, Warfare isn't really a movie. I mean, sure, and once again, the movie is technically a movie because it is shot on cameras. You're seeing events happening from point to point B. You're seeing things being played out on a movie screen, but the movie isn't necessarily a film with a story. I mean, it's telling a story of an enactment of something that happened, but more than anything else, Warfare is a movie that is just, simply put, it is an all-out assault on the senses experience. What an experience this movie was. I mean, this movie is one of the most excellent experiences I've had in the movie theater in quite some time, especially when it comes down to a war film. This movie, guys, kicked my ass, and wow, it was an experience. This movie has an incredible cast, but the thing that I have to applaud about when it comes down to the performances and the cast, the banter, is that within the first couple of minutes that you see this team bantering with another, you immediately believe them as a unit, as a brotherhood, and as their camaraderie and their friendship. And I do want to credit that, by the way, to Ray Mendoza, who I do want to talk about the directing here momentarily. I feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't mention everybody, and by the way, I would like to apologize if I butcher any names, but to want you to know, everybody here, fantastic. DeFaro Woon A Tai, I am pretty sure I butchered your name, sir, but he is the one who does a portrayal of Ray Mendoza, one of the film's directors. Will Poulter, Cosmo Jarvis, Kid O'Connor, Finn Bennett, Joseph Quinn, Charles Melton, Michael Gandolfini, Noah Centineo. The cast here is great. It is a great cast, and they all do a great job. I can only imagine how Ray Mendoza was directing these guys, of doing his re-encounter, of telling them, hey, this is what happened, this is how you guys have to act in these scenes, because this is exactly what I went through, or what my platoon went through. I can only imagine what these actors had going through their minds as they were trying to, you know, honor and doing their best to relive what these actually guys went through. But man, I thought the cast of this movie did such a wonderful job. Warfare is not only a terrifically acted film, but in terms of the technical department, this movie is such a excellently and such an expertly crafted film, especially when it comes down to the directing by Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland, who, by the way, crafted such a tension-filled movie that from the moment it starts and from the moment that it ends, that they really do make you feel like you're as if you're in the middle of this action that is happening during this experience, during this encounter. Ray Mendoza, who is a vet, who, by the way, Ray Mendoza, I don't know if you're watching this video right now, but if you are, I just want to say, sir, thank you so much to your service, and really to everybody out there who has served in the Army, military, Air Force, whatever branch you have served. Thank you for your service, and by the way, shout out to my uncle. You know who I'm talking about, my uncle who was a veteran. Thank you for your service. I love you, and I can't wait to see you again hopefully soon. Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland do such a phenomenal job of putting you right in the middle of the action, of putting you in this intense, this visceral, this grueling, and this horrifying experience of what these soldiers experienced in 2006. The cinematography and the sound, continuing all the technical aspects, holy crap. This movie is so well shot, and the sound design is absolutely incredible. This is one of those movies that I wished my theater was playing IMAX. So I'm going to say this. Thanks, Minecraft, for taking every IMAX screen in my area. There was a bit where I actually did jump because I was so just in the moment, and I was just locked in. This movie, the only thing it relies on is ambiance, sounds, and dialogue. The tension in every scene, especially in that killer, that dead silence, the tension where it's winding and winding and winding before a big bang goes off, and as everything goes in a certain direction to which you are just either biting your nails, holding on to your seat, or looking at the screen through your eyes, just waiting and hoping to God that more bad things don't continue to happen to these soldiers. Warfare was such an experience that in the last shot, I was just, my eyes were glued. And the moment that this movie just faded to black, I actually had the biggest, relief. I just went like this. Whew!
Well, that's just fucking great!
When it comes down to my issues for Warfare, there's only one thing I have to add, technically two things, but it's just really more of a me thing. Warfare at times is not an easy watch, as there are moments in this movie that I can only imagine that your experience watch this movie might be a harder experience, because guys, there are sequences in this movie that are pretty hard to watch. There are some grueling ass sequences, absolutely. This movie isn't necessarily the most rewatchable film because it does get very horrifying, grueling, and visceral at times, but that's really all I can think of.
And here we go.
So overall, Warfare is grueling, intense, visceral, and a hell of an experience that must be seen on the big screen. It's not an easy watch, but it's an experience that you can't miss. All in all, I'm gonna give Warfare a 4.5 out of 5. Go to this movie with the biggest screen and the loudest speakers possible to experience one hell of a flick. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Warfare. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike this review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 videos, please click the right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.